Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to share today's video with you because we are going to be testing out a full face of your Holy Grail makeup products that I have never tried. Last month I did a poll on Instagram asking you guys what your Holy Grail makeup products were within each category of makeup. Initially I did a video using some of your Holy Grail makeup products that I already owned, but I noticed in those polls that there were a lot of products that I had never tried myself, so I proceeded to make a very large shopping list, and here we are today. I have in front of me a whole bunch of makeup products, both high-end and drugstore, that you highly recommended. These aren't just your favorites, these were your Holy Grails, and we're putting them all on today. This is the look I will be creating. I have to say, fantastic, pretty much across the board. I had a feeling that it would be. You guys have really good taste in makeup, so if you're curious to see what products I use to create this very beautiful makeup look, definitely keep watching. But before we get into it, special welcome to any new visitors to my channel. Happy to have you here. Hope that you will subscribe before you leave and make sure notifications are turned on if you'd like to be notified every time I upload a new video. And with all that said, we have a lot of makeup to put on and I had a lot of things to say in this video, so let's get to it. Alright, we are prepped and ready to go. I just applied a little bit of primer. I did use the Primerizer by Smashbox today. I didn't ask you guys for a primer recommendation. Next time I do this, I will be sure to do that. But we're going to jump right in with foundation. So there were quite a few foundations you guys recommended, but one of the ones I saw the most is from L'Oreal. It is the Age Perfect Radiant Serum Foundation. I remember this coming out and me being interested in it, and then I kind of forgot about it. So I'm excited to give this thing a try today. I ended up going with the shade Natural Buff 40. I'm just going to take a nice little dab of this. I want to apply this with my fingers today. Most things that come in a squeezy tube, which by the way this does, for whatever reason I like to apply them with my fingers. Kind of like a BB cream or a CC cream. Hopefully the shade match will work for me. Okay, it looks pretty good actually. I imagine it's going to get a little bit dark for me as the winter approaches, but I can always add a little bit of a lighter foundation. Hopefully you guys can see how well that went on. I mean, it's hard to say how much I applied because there isn't a pump, but as for what I think of it so far, I think it looks amazing. It feels really nice and hydrating. I feel like it has a good solid medium coverage. It looks really nice and subtly glowy, which I really, really love. So far so good. Let's move on to concealer. So the concealer Holy Grail that was a recommendation from a few of you guys that I really wanted to try is from Benefit. It's the Benefit Buoying Concealer. I ended up going with the shade number 3. Let's see, this is one of those ones I had to take a guess online. I think it's gonna be a little light for me. I think it will work. Actually, we'll see. I think this will be okay. It might be a little light for the blemishes on the perimeter of my face, but I don't have a ton to cover today. I don't usually need to put a lot of concealer on these little, which are mostly just either sunspots or old acne scars that I have. I do have a couple breakouts right here, but hopefully it'll blend in well. I do like a lighter concealer down the center of my face. I'm also going to apply this as an eye primer today because again I didn't include an eye primer in the categories that I pulled on Instagram. I just am taking a damp Wet n Wild sponge and we're gonna tap this in and see how it looks. Oh, so far you guys are not letting me down. My skin looks great. That covered really well. I didn't have to use that much, but it looks fantastic. I feel like shade match wise, we are sitting pretty. That's always nice when that works out, when you pick the right shade online, which usually doesn't work out that easily for me. So what should we move into next? Let's finish off with the cheeks. We are going to be pretty neutral with the eyes today. Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll get into it in a minute. But let's finish off with the cheeks because I'm actually extra excited about the cheek products. These are the ones that I had a hard time staying away from for the last 3 or 4 days as I was gathering things, waiting for orders to come in. I really wanted to open these up and give them a swatch, but I haven't yet, so we're going to do it together today. Let's start with the bronzer. The bronzer that you guys recommended that I'm having a heck of a time opening. What am I doing wrong? Okay, there we go. It is the Fenty Cream Bronzer in the shade Butter Biscuit. This one showed up several times in your recommendations, and actually this specific shade showed up quite a few times, so I cannot wait to try this. I'm actually surprised at the size of it. For whatever reason, I was assuming this would be similar in size to their blush. Let me just pull my blush out for you guys. Here's the size of their blush. I do have one of their blushes, which is pretty small. Big size difference. This thing is pretty massive. Love the Fenty packaging. I mean, I always love Fenty packaging. I'm actually going to give this a quick swatch or feel with my finger. I just want to kind of feel what texture I'm working with. Let me swatch it on the back of my hand for you guys. Okay, nice and creamy. This is another one that kind of reminds me a lot of the formula of like the Kaja or the Patrick Ta. I think I want to apply this kind of the way that I do my Patrick Ta or the Kaja one. I'm just going to take it on my finger, give it a little swipe where I need it. Looks to be a good shade to do a little contouring with, so let's do a little contouring. Last time I did this, I almost forgot to blend out my nose. Let's go down the temples. I really am liking the shade so far. We'll see how it blends out. Just kind of blending with my clean finger. That blends super easy. Ooh, nice. So I'm going to blend my forehead out with my finger, and then we'll come back with a brush and blend out the rest. Little under here, forgot under my lip. I do like to sometimes put contour right there. And then let's do the jawline as well. Why not? Okay, so I'm going to start blending. This is just my rougher angled brush. I think it's the number 4. Just kind of going to stipple. Okay, this is a great shade. Wow. Love this shade. Nice and creamy. It's blending out pretty quick. I don't know where I have been on this one. I've been sleeping on some of these products. I think some of them caught my attention, but I'm sure you guys can relate. So much makeup is released. I cannot keep up with it. Okay, let's get under my chin. Just about forgot that part. Last time it was my nose. This time I almost forgot to blend that out, although you probably wouldn't have noticed. Okay, I love that. That looks amazing. I love the shade of this bronzer. It was really nice and creamy, easy to blend out. Actually, I'm going to keep playing with this because I actually think I even liked blending it with my fingers more than my brush. Very excited to keep trying this one out and add it to my ever-growing and beloved bronzer collection. Fantastic. Good recommendation. Thank you guys. Ooh, I'm very, very excited about that one. Let's move into the blush. So this blush is one I am also very excited about. This one I ordered at the same time as the Fenty from Sephora, and it is the Tower 28 Cream Blush. This one showed up several times in your recommendations. I'm excited to try it today because I have been hearing more and more people talk about this brand, and clearly a lot of you guys liked their cream blush. So I ended up going with the shade Magic Hour, which looks to be a good neutral. Let's give it a swatch on the back of my hand. Feel kind of what we're working with here. Ooh, very nice and creamy. This feels a lot like the Milani one. Oh, look at that shade. Ooh, that looks promising. Let's give this a try. So what I typically like to do with this type of a cream blush is just go with my finger and tap it on first, and then I'll go in either with my sponge or like a little stippling brush like this. So let's just start off with my finger. Actually, this looks like it might be one I just think my finger will probably be perfect for. Oh my goodness, look at how pretty that color is. Are you guys seeing this? That is a good color. Holy cow. Oh man, you guys, this is so pretty and dewy. Oh, I love it. The shade. I mean, I love the formula. The formula is really, really nice. It does remind me a little bit of the Milani one. It reminds me a little bit of the Fenty one, which are all very, very nice and kind of tacky and creamy, but also kind of rich and thick. Well, let's move into the highlighter. I picked up this one right here. This is the Honest Beauty Luminizing Glow Powder in the shade Midnight Reflection. This thing was pricey. $19.99. I've never spent $19.99 on a product at the drugstore, but I did have a really good experience with the Flower Beauty cream blush. It's one of my favorite cream blushes. So I decided to give this highlighter a try despite its very high price tag. So we're going to try it out today. One of you did mention that it's pretty subtle, and you guys know how much I love my intense highlighter. So let's give it a swatch first. Here it is on the back of my hand. Okay, it's definitely giving me some subtle vibes. Actually reminds me a little bit of the Essence Pure Nude highlighter. Fortunately, I do have some really glossy cheeks today that I feel like will add a little bit of glow, natural glow to my skin. Okay, I'm definitely seeing it. That's pretty. Hang on, I think my lights are a little too bright. Hopefully that will be a little bit better. You guys will see a little bit better. Okay, so there we have the highlighter. Definitely very subtle. It's not super intense. I do like my very intense highlights, but it is really pretty on the skin. So if you don't like something super blinding and reflective that you can see from space, this is probably a better option for you. I think it's even a little bit more subtle than the Essence Pure Nude highlighter, but I like it. It's really pretty, very natural looking. Let's move into the eyebrows next. So there were a lot of brow products that you guys recommended to me. A lot of e.l.f. stuff was in there. I mean, a lot of stuff that I already love, the e.l.f., the Ulta Beauty. But one of the browns that was recommended the most, which was not that surprising to me, was Anastasia Beverly Hills. And not just one thing from her, like not just the Brow Wiz. Lots of you also recommended the original brow pomade, her clear brow gel. There's even another brow product that she has. It looks to be more like a wax in a pot. So I did pick up one of her brow products. I went with the clear brow gel, and then the pencil that I ended up going with, it was also recommended quite a bit. It's from NYX. It's the NYX Precision Brow Pencil. This one, several of you mentioned, was a holy grail. Also their micro pencil, several of you mentioned being your holy grail pencil, but that one at my Walgreens was out of stock in my shade. I think they only had brunette and like black or some other very deep shade left. So this is the only one that looked to be the right match for me. It's a very interesting shape. I don't think I've ever tried a brow pencil with this shape. Let's see what the spoolie's like. That's always a big deal to me with brow pencils. They've got to have a good spoolie that doesn't rotate when you use it. Have you guys ever had a spoolie that gets loose and it like rotates when you try to comb through your brows? Oh, that's a no-go for me. This seems to be a pretty good spoolie. I usually like the ones that are a little bit smaller, like a little bit more short in the bristles, but it works. It does a good job. All right, and then I'm going to take the pencil. I actually don't know the best way. I'm assuming you kind of just like put it on its side and draw strokes. I think I mentioned the shade. I ended up going with the shade Blonde. All right, very happy with that. I really love the color. Actually went on really quick, really easy. Good consistency, not too stiff, but not too creamy, not too waxy. But let's jump into the brow gel. This is one of the things I'm the most excited to try today. Again, this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. I've heard really good things about it. It got really good reviews. I did read through some of the reviews that this is like the brow gel if you never want your brows to move, ever. Which sounds good to me. It's not even the moving that I mind. I just like something that's really gonna hold my brows up, because they don't like to go up. They like to go kind of sideways and sometimes even down. They're a little stubborn, so I could use something a little powerful. We're gonna let those dry. I'm gonna try really hard not to move too much or let them move, and we are going to move into the eyeshadows next. This was another one that was really tough because so many of the ones that you guys mentioned as your holy grail eyeshadow palettes I already own. And I don't say that to brag. I say that with a fair amount of shame. It's kind of embarrassing, the unnecessary number of eyeshadow palettes that I have. But one that I did see in there that a couple of you mentioned was your holy grail is one that I never have really given much consideration to. It is from Maybelline. It's the Nudes of New York palette. So we're gonna try this out for the first time today. I know this thing's been around for a while. And I even remember quite a few people here on YouTube talking pretty highly of this palette, but it just never really interested me for some reason. But we're gonna see if my mind can be changed today. So let's go in first. Let's take my Alter Ego. I'm gonna use my Alter Ego brushes. This is the number 5 brush that comes in their larger full set. I wanna start off with just kind of an ivory matte shade to kind of set down this concealer, which I'm really noticing is creasing quite a bit on my eyelids. I have a feeling this is probably not gonna be a good concealer for an eyeshadow primer. We're just going with this shade, which is the shade Artist. Kind of a ivory cream color. I'm not going to think too much about it. Let's just go in with this shade initially. This is the shade Explorer. We're going to use this up through my transition. Okay, that's more pigmented than it looks in the pan. Oh, that's actually really nice. It's always nice when an eyeshadow you put on and literally don't have to do hardly any work for it to blend out but still lay down a good amount of pigment. And that is exactly what this eyeshadow did. That looks really nice. Okay, that was nice and quick. Actually, let me zoom you guys in just a bit. Okay, that did go on a little darker than I thought that it would. I'm going to go up to this shade, which is a little bit lighter, a little bit more of a tan than this one has a little bit of pink in it. This is the shade Creator. I'm going to go kind of above where I put that previous shade just to add a little bit more color onto my brow without it being too dark. All right, now let's go in with that same shade, the lighter transition shade Creator, and I'm going to take the number 6 brush also from Alter Ego, and we're going to run that under the lower lash line, kind of low in the socket of my lower lash line. Let's initially go in with this shade Voyager, which is a bit of a deep kind of berry, purpley red. I'm going to take this on the Alter Ego number 10 brush. This is kind of an angled, semi-fluffy brush. And we're going to start shaping this outer corner with this shade. Okay, I'm not liking that brush. Let's go in with a different brush. So this is the number 11 brush, same set. It's a smaller, more precise, kind of pointy brush. We're gonna apply a little bit more. I feel like this will give me a little bit more precision. That brush was not as soft as I was thinking it would be, but it also wasn't precise. This one will give me the precision. Then we'll go in with a blending brush and kind of blend. Now I'm going to take the Alter Ego number 6 brush. It's just smaller than the very first brush that we used, but it's nice and long and very loose. I'm going to take just a touch more of that Berry Tone, the Voyager shade, and we're going to, there we go. This has the give that I was looking for. Outer corner brush. These are pretty nice mattes. I guess I've only used the mattes so far, but they're performing great. Alright, and now we're going to go back to that kind of C-shaped smudge brush, the number 9 from Alter Ego. I'm going to take that same shade. Actually, let's mix this shade and the first shade that I put down together. And then we're going to run this under the lower lash line, but I'm trying to keep it closer to the actual lashes. And now we're going to jump in with some shimmer. So let's give these a little swatch first. Just going to swatch these 3 kind of lid color shimmers. Let's give them a swatch on the back of my hand. So there's the kind of pinky toned one. Sorry, I still have concealer. Oh well. Make for a good base. There's the gold. It's kind of a bronzy gold actually. That's pretty. Ooh, this is going to be tough. And then here is the more yellowy gold. Those look really pretty. Really, I feel like this one's gonna go the best, but I kind of want to try something a little different. Let's go with the yellowy gold. Why don't we? I kind of like that combination. Let's add a little bit to the inner corner. So I'm going to take this shade in the very top corner, which is the shade Originator. More of a true kind of icy champagne it looks to be. Perfect. Let's add that to the inner lid and kind of overlap that gold a little bit. I want to brighten that inner lid up just a little. All right, that is looking really nice so far. Let's go back with this smaller blending brush. I'm just going to blend out around the edge of this shimmer ever so lightly. And now I do want to add just a tiny bit more depth to the outer corner. I know it's nice and smoky already, but I really just want to try out this shade down here. I'm going to take that smudgy brush that I used on my lower lash line. We're going to build up just quite a bit on that very tippy top of this brush, and we're going to just start laying that down right at the upper lash line and pulling it slightly up. I don't want to go up too high. I think I already did. I think I already went up a little too high. That looks amazing. We're going to now move into a mascara that was one of your holy grails, and I've been wanting to try this one for a while. It is from e.l.f. It is the Lash It Loud mascara. There were quite a few of you that mentioned this mascara as one of your holy grails, and I've been hearing more and more people talk about e.l.f. mascaras, whereas 5 years ago, I feel like e.l.f. was a great company, but mascara was one of those things they just could not seem to get right. So I can't wait to give this a try. And I did already, before filming or starting this video, I did curl my lashes. It does have a rubber brush. It's a little on the pokey side. I don't mind that as long as I'm careful, but you do have to be more careful with a brush like this. Alright you guys, here we are with the finished eyes, mascara, and eyeshadow complete. Very impressed. That mascara is really, really good. Now the only complaint I have with it, as I mentioned while I was using it, is the brush. It is a little bit pokey. Be careful if you have very sensitive eyes, but as far as what it did for my lashes, they look amazing. Great separation, good volume, good length. It went on quickly. It looks really good on my lower lashes, which the more mascaras I tried, the more I'm finding it's hard to find a mascara that I love on both my upper and my lower lashes, which is kind of high maintenance, but here we are. $6, and that was at Walgreens. I'm curious if the price will be different. Although usually e.l.f. prices are pretty consistent no matter where you buy them. That's a fantastic price for a pretty good mascara. I'll keep you guys updated. I know I just put it on, so we'll see if it flakes or smudges. So far, so good. I think the eyeshadow looks amazing. I'm still gonna say, I feel like this is just kind of just a little bit boring, which sounds so mean to say that, but I am someone that I have a ton of eyeshadow palettes. It's hard for me to find a formula, a color story packaging that really makes me want to reach for an eyeshadow palette amongst all the other ones that I have. But I completely understand why this would be a holy grail palette for so many, because it is really neutral, but it can definitely get you there if you like something intense, you like something maybe that's more day to night friendly, and that's going to give you a variety of different neutral options. This is probably one of those. I love the look that we came up with today. The mattes especially were were so easy to work with. The shimmers are decent. I am very picky with my shimmers. I like intensely metallic shimmers, which I know not everybody does. If you like something a little bit more subtle and more natural looking, these shimmers are more along those lines. They look beautiful. They're just not going to make you look like you have liquid metal on your eyelids, which I do like the look of liquid metal on my eyelids. Let's move on to the lips. This is the last product that I have to try out, and it is the Maybelline Superstay Ink Crayon. I ended up going with the shade 15 Lead the Way, so let's give it a little swatch on the back of my hand. I confess I already swatched it before I started this video. I couldn't wait any longer. It looks like a really nice nude pink. The smell smells like the Lifter Gloss, which has, I think, the very best lip gloss smell that I have yet to try to this day. And you guys know I'm all about a good, deliciously scented makeup product. I'm going to wipe up the concealer that I have on my lips. Kind of start like we would a liner, kind of go along the edges. This is supposed to have really good staying power, but it feels super creamy. Okay, I'm kind of wild about this color. Okay, that is beautiful. Now, normally, if I was going to wear this out, I would love to apply something a little bit shimmery, something lighter like Creme Brulee from NYX. I'm so tempted to do that right now, but I really want to test this lipstick today. So it is 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It is almost dinner time. I'm going to wear this through dinner and just see how it wears so I can kind of report to you guys how the longevity was, how this wore, how it wore off. But I do love the color. I think it is beautiful. And that, you guys, completes today's video of a full face of makeup using your Holy Grail makeup products that I have not yet tried. I am so impressed, you guys. Everything looks amazing. It feels amazing. Very happy with the way everything performed. I'm so thrilled with this final makeup look. Let's just kind of go through everything really quickly to share my final thoughts. I'm not going to have time to do a check-in, and it is kind of late in the afternoon. It's 5 o'clock. So I will come back and let you guys know down in the description box an update on how everything wore. But so far, I am so happy with everything. This foundation looks and feels amazing. The concealer, it looks great. I'm not noticing any lines or caking yet. I really like the coverage of this. I didn't need a lot of product to get really good coverage, and it's really nice and hydrating, which is always a must for me in a concealer. Perhaps two of the things that I am the most excited about today, that like I can't wait to keep using these for the next 3 or 4 days, are these right here, the cream bronzer and the Tower 28 blush. You guys, my cheeks look so incredibly pretty. I love the shade of this bronzer, and I feel kind of the same way about this blush. Great formula. I don't know that the formula is what blew me. I mean, it was great. It was a great formula, but there's a lot of cream formulas I think are really great out there. The color of this, though, while it doesn't look super unique in the pan, there's something really special about the color of this blush. It's the perfect neutral tone for my skin tone. The highlighter, I'm pretty impressed with as well. I actually love this, especially for the center of my face. I love a really intense highlight on the high points of my cheeks. Like, I feel like this one might be a little subtle for that area, but there are a lot of times that I put my intense highlighter on my cheeks, and then I go onto my nose, and I realize glitter on the nose just doesn't look that natural. This one looks a lot more natural, and I love that, especially down the center of my face. I'm going to keep playing with it, and I'll report back to you guys soon, but so far I think it's really pretty. I love the shade of it. Really especially nice if you like a subtle highlighter. Mascara. This one blew me away for $6. This is a really good drugstore mascara. I hope it wears well for me. This is another one. Keep an eye down below. I'll let you guys know if there was any smudging, any flaking, how it was to remove. I feel like I already gave you my full thoughts on the palette. I love the look it created. Very easy to create. And the lip crayon. I've had it on for about 30 minutes now. It still is feeling like it's dried down like 75%, so I can feel it set a little bit, but it still is just very subtly creamy. So I imagine this is going to be pretty long wearing, but it doesn't yet feel as dry as like a liquid lipstick would feel. I'll keep you guys posted on this one. I'm going to need some time with it to get my final thoughts and know how it wore. But above all, the smell of this, you guys. It smells like cupcakes. The brow products. These are two things I'm going to need a little bit more time with. I really like what they did for my brows today. Love the shade of this pencil. I actually like the shape of it as well. I'm going to keep playing with it. Brow gel. I'm going to have to keep an eye on how this wears throughout the day. It looks great. My brows actually look really nice. I was wondering if this would give me wet looking brows. They definitely don't look wet, but when I touch them, I can feel that they're set down. I don't think they're going anywhere, so I'll keep you guys posted on how this holds up, but so far, I think my brows look great. So that is everything. I hope that this was a fun video for you guys to watch. I want to give you guys a huge thanks for your recommendations. For those of you that participated in the Instagram poll, these are not the only things that I have on my wish list. Trust me, you guys had a lot of great recommendations that I can't wait continuing to dabble in. I hope you guys had fun watching me try them. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. Let me remind you one more time, if you haven't yet subscribed, please be sure to do that before you leave, and I will see all of you in my next video. Bye. I have a bathroom down here, so I wash my brushes in the morning, or not my brushes, my sponges in the morning, and then I bring a water bottle down here so I can get them wet with a water bottle, because there's nothing worse than filming and realizing that you need to get out of your chair, walk up a flight of stairs to wet your sponge, and then come back down and reset all my camera settings. So